add to stream and wait to see if my audio is working, because sometimes the audio seems to cut out. Let's see. Wait for it to join, and then you can let me know if the audio is working. It's got you get a little background. Literally, they're such twats. Let me get the screen sharing. All right. So as I was saying, alcohol. So this talk is about the alcohol, coffee, and neurotoxins. So what's the point? Let's check the official party line on alcoholic drinks. An alcoholic drink is a drink that contains ethanol, a type of alcohol produced by fermentation of grains, fruits, and other sources of sugar. So it's fermented sugar. Bible says about fermented things, fermentation, basically rotten, decaying, dead food, energy, matter, whatever you want to call it. No good for the body. Ethanol, not great. And because the consumption of alcohol plays an important social role in many cultures, aka most cultures have some sort of alcohol dependency. It seems to have been like that throughout the time. You had wine in Rome, wine skins, etc., etc. In today's modern world, yeah, sauerkraut's definitely a no-no. Actually, I don't know, because I like. That's in vinegar. Maybe. I don't know. Alcohol's definitely a no-no though. So you see, most countries have laws regulating the production, sale, and consumption of alcoholic beverages. Now, the reason is the people that control the system, they have laws regulating the production. So you need a license to make it, and you need a license to sell it, and you need to be a certain age to drink it. But it's never really been a problem for younger people to get hold of alcohol. I'm sure we've all drank Lambrinis or white wines or some cheap alcohols, beers, whatever, in the park when we were teenagers growing up. So yeah. So I mean, essentially, alcohol is it's pharmakeia, it's witchcraft. We look at pictures. These are potions. Make no doubt about it. These are potions. There's a reason why a lot of them they come in glass bottles as opposed to plastic. Is to keep the potion or whatever mixture as pure as possible. You look at these brands; these are like gang labels. These are like corporate labels. And it's essentially what it does to you. If you're depressed from the system, you feel something's wrong, but you can't put your finger on it. You'll self-medicate, whether that be weed, cocaine, booze, porn, whatever it is. And here it is. You seems like anywhere in the world, there's alcohol shops. There seems to be more concentrated in poorer areas. In your off license, there's always alcohol. It's always stocked. You never see it sold out. It's always there, fresh supply of your pharmakeia poison to keep you nullified. Now, let's see what gin. Yeah, it's a good point. Now, most alcohol is just pure evil. Think about history. Throughout history, all the sickness and evil stuff that's happened because of people under the influence of alcohol. What happens is it lowers your vibration. The potions, these are literally potions, they lower your vibration, allowing low vibrational thoughts and low vibrational entities, aka demons or whatever you want to call them, to possess you, maybe momentarily. Unless you're an alcoholic, it's a longer term thing. And from that, you'll start acting under their influence and doing, evil things. They say the true person comes out under the influence of alcohol. So wife beaters. A famous case is the Stella Artois wife beater. So here's the typical look, and basically what they were saying is there was something in Stella Artois that made people hit their wives, and it's true. God knows what this evil spirit or potion was. It's kind of a meme, so to speak. But this particular drink seemed to make predominantly men hit their spouses, which is obviously a terrible evil. It causes disruption, and the nickname wife beater. See, let's check this. The idea is if you drank too much, you would go home and hit your wife, and therefore that was the spirit of whatever demon was placed over that particular drink. So yeah, this is the what we're dealing with. So if we look at things like this, and then we go back to our picture of this, witches potions, all these spells and brews. This is what they show you in the media, or your typical image of what potions are, and in reality, this is what potions are. Now, some people are against it, some people ain't. Some people can have a drink, it lightens the mood. They don't go home and do anything, they just have a little drink, they're merry, and they go home and they're fine. But it affects some people completely differently. I've known people that just become animals instantly the minute they have a drink. Their true person comes out, they might start acting silly, they might get aggressive, they might get super flirtatious. What it does is it lowers your inhibitions, and the sickness comes out. Now, in this country that I reside in, Britain, we have a thing called booze culture. This is predominantly for the lower working class debt slaves. We call it booze Britain. So, sorry for using your images, people, but especially in these satellite towns, you get stuff like this and this, scenes of chaos. God knows what that is, but yeah, this is how these people get down. Typical image, Saturday night, your debt slave, depressed from their 9 to 5, goes and gets smashed on a Friday, a Saturday, and probably a Sunday, and calls in sick on a Monday. So this culture happens here across the country, probably worldwide, but predominantly I understand it as a British thing. The amount of bad things that happen, look, girls get picked up, they get raped, minicabs take them home and rape them, pregnancies, abortions, beatings, fights, breakups, adultery, cheating, it all stems from this kind of weekend culture, and some people just can't have their drink. And as you can see, it affects all races, all colors. It just happens to predominantly be white people they're shown doing this because obviously England's predominantly white. But it happens in every culture. Now, it's not just a working class, chav thing. It's also a middle class thing. And what you have is a culture of wine drinking, and it's done a lot more undercover. So they'll go home or they'll go to somebody's house and do it that way at dinner parties and that. But I know a lot of, have known quite a few more well-off people to have a bottle of wine or be wine dependent. So, you can have like the middle class wife who can't get home, or as soon as she gets home, she needs a bottle of wine or two, that kind of thing. They're functioning alcoholics, they're alcoholics nonetheless. It's quite sad. But I guess if it takes the edge off and it keeps them functioning, what can you say? But the Bible, is against alcohol. It is a sin. It's sure to get you whacked by the karma system. It's just everywhere. Even in the white collar city champagne lunch, they call it. I mean, even in the high-flying kind of city culture, you go to a swanky, look, Shard restaurant, have your expensive lunch, and the bottles of Bollinger or wherever your thing is flows freely, and you get pissed, which obviously if affects your functioning at work. If you're responsible, especially in the financial industry, you know, you can do these evil deals that consign millions to poverty or physically kill, you know, can cause people suicide or, you know, lose jobs, etc. You're moving money, you're moving industries. The devil will work through you so you can sign these pieces of paper that cause multiple deaths, and you won't give a shit because you're tanked up. It's known that people get tanked up before work in these central London or central city pubs, because it's not just London. I don't know if you can find it, but basically the higher flyers in the city, some of them have an alcoholic breakfast. I think it's here. Look, Lloyd's alcohol ban challenges City of London's drinking culture. So these kind of these would be the agents of the Matrix. These aren't actually the Illuminati. These are just people that operate the machinery. They're paid well, in brackets, you know, salaries 100, 200,000, but obviously that's still not enough really to change the course of the world. And these are the grey-suited agents of the Matrix. So yeah, they get pissed before work, during lunch, after, on the weekends. Everyone's boozed up. Now, what's happening? Yeah, that's true. Yep, see it. They get boozed up on in private. I knew a girl I worked with. We had drinks in the office on Fridays. It was like a culture thing. If you didn't have a drink in the office on a Friday, work would finish like maybe an hour early, and everyone would get pissed. You couldn't go home that hour early. You had to stay, even if you wasn't drinking, and socialize. And it was just weird. Do you know what I mean? I didn't drink. I just look at these people, and you'd see their behavior suddenly change, and they'd all be drunk, and I just look on at my desk as they're all talking in the drinks area, and I'd be like, okay, I want to go home now, but you know, not for me. Yeah, I think that's what it is. I think it helps them mask, you know, some of their sicknesses, or it's, you know, self-medication. They're trying to hide from something, some pain there, some turmoil. But what's happening, which is what nobody ever seems to have talked about so far, is they're closing down the pubs. Now, you've got to say, if you want the nation intoxicated and boozed up so they don't question things, why are all the pubs closing down? And they are. And what are they being replaced with? The new form of poison. This stuff. This is liquid heroin. Make no mistake about it. This is liquid heroin. It has the same smell as heroin. I'm not talking about your average coffee or your fresh independent coffee beans. I'm talking about these places. Not only are they polluting the world with these cups that are very difficult to recycle, but this stuff here is liquid heroin. I would not be surprised if these coffee beans here are actually heroin pellets. This shit is super addictive. Every high street has one of these coffee shops, whether it be a Costa, a Starbucks. And this stuff here, here's their goddess, Semiramis. Well, she knows who I am, and I know who she is, and I'm opposed to her plans. Hell hath no fury, like a woman scorned on multiple occasions. So this Starbucks coffee, there's her face. It's in the name, really. It bucks the stars. So if you're Ishtar or sister. So your Starbucks coffee is in the name. It bucks the stars. If you're a souled human being, you're born through a birth canal, you are a star. You're a star of the show. You're a star of the Truman show. And so Starbucks will buck you up. It will mess you up. That's its name. Costa. It costs stars. It will make you sick. This stuff is so addictive. I've been addicted to it. The presentation's nice. The shop's always genuinely clean. You can get served quickly. It doesn't taste too bad, but I mean, it's a weird chemical aftertaste. This stuff is Frankenstein food. We know about HEK 293. So HEK 293, human embryonic kidney cells, often referred to as HEK 293, also natural flavorings. Kidney cells grown from a female fetus. And so, yeah, this is so yeah, kidney cells from a female fetus, which is a sweetener. And you've got to ask, why would you put that in there? Surely it's easier just to use straight up sugar. You'd actually have to, it costs more money to put HEK 293 in your coffee as in natural flavorings. They've said they've stopped using it. They haven't. See, it's crazy. Why would you put embryonic kidney cells in stuff? That's what they do. This has long been talked about. Everybody knows this now. There's a big deal with Pepsi having it in. They said they took it out, but it comes under natural flavorings because there's nowhere on the internet you'll be able to find what natural flavorings is actually consists of. Here's a little insult. This is the dark side. They like to have little jokes like this. But it's also wit tard. It tards your wit. But yeah, those who know me on a more personal level will understand some of the stuff I go through here. So yeah, so you've got to ask yourself, they're closing the coffee shops. Why? And when you, I don't know if you're aware of this, but when you sit outside or when you look at the people outside the coffee shops, they seem to be under some kind of dark energy. I can't explain it. I'm not talking about these kind of swanky independent ones, although I'm not sure what's up with them, but more so the chains. Worldwide, there was just this coffee burst. It just happened, obviously controlled. They programmed the NPCs. I think the TV show Friends had a lot to do with it. So there was this big kind of thing about the coffee shop in Friends, and this was a programming the NPCs. You had your archetypes. You had your archetypes, working class archetype, middle class archetype, kind of in between archetype. Your women, archetypes, women in commas. And yeah, to kind of push this coffee shop wave. So these coffee shops are just pure utter, they're just spreading evil. It's not an evil where, you get drunk and start punching people in the face. This kind of coffee shop evil is more subtle. And what they use is, it's trendy now to be vegan. But the milk they use is not really great. It's this stuff, Alpro, which again has find somewhere sugar, calcium, tricalcium phosphate, which I'm sure is not natural, sea salt, stabilizers, locust bean gum, gelum gum, emulsifiers, and then here, natural flavorings. Now, natural flavorings is fetus, because a fetus is natural, and the HEK 293 is the flavoring. Now, what this stuff does is it's turning your, it basically turns you to plastic, which is not even a joke. Soya milk turns to plastic. How to turn milk into plastic? Just add vinegar. So what happens is soya milk in the gut, it turns to kind of plastic. And what it's doing is actually just turning people artificial. Yeah, I was addicted to it. If you see that video where it's like, Tez, follow me, it's outside a coffee shop. And I literally, like a religion, I'd have to have like 5 bacon rolls a day when I was in sin eating pork. And like, I was spending like 30 quid a day on Costa alone, cigarettes, coffee, and bacon rolls. Do you know what I mean? It was the only way I could get through work. I had to get out of the office because I couldn't stand to be with those people and do monotonous bullshit. And I'd just sit outside a coffee shop. And then this is another thing. It's the only, it's kind of the only place you can go on the high street nowadays, especially if you want to sit outside. Like the only places with outdoor seating nowadays are a few pubs, which are few and far between, and a coffee shop. Yeah, it's, you know, kind of get your laptop with your big over-ear headphones, sit outside the coffee shop in your flannel shirt and your Vans jeans, with your fixed gear bike outside. And these people just appear over nowhere, and they're kind of like clones. Not to be rude, but you just see them. They all look the same. Here we go. Prime example. Look, flannel shirt, and these kind of coffee baristas. These are just clones from the cloning lab. They just appear out of nowhere, you know, covered head to toe in tattoos. Like, yeah, look, your flannel shirt. But I mean, if you want to blend into the matrix, look, there you go. Grab your laptop, your beanie, your shirt, get your fixed gear bike, and look. But I guess it's a trend, you know, when you join something, you're into something, you do wear the clothes. You know, we've all been guilty of it. But your coffee shops. So the question is, what is this stuff doing to people? Now, is it better than alcohol? Yeah, I agree. For sure. You know, I mean, if I was still in that world, and I was scared, you know, and all this mask rubbish, I would for sure choose a coffee shop, you know, so I could sit outside and not have to wear a mask. Of course, I mean, I've not worn a mask for the last, what's it, nearly coming up to a year and a half, 2 years. I walk in places. If they say anything, I'm exempt. I'm exempt on the grounds I have a soul, and I'm not a fucking coward, and you soulless bastards will not put the spirit of fear into me. So that's my exemption. Any NPCs watching, suck my balls. So yeah, here's the coffee shop twats with the soya milk. Again, and it all ties into this fake woke consciousness, which is, you know, we're woke, save Africa, liberal lefty, pro rainbow, the rainbow mafia. The rainbow mafia. This is a fucking mafia here. You dare say you don't agree with this shit, and everyone will look at you like you're a psychopath. Need I say more? The rainbow mafia. Not for me, you know. This is the minority. This is what we real people believe in. The old school way. It's not really rocket science. One's got a hole, one's got a key, or a thing that goes in the hole, and the rest is kind of just straightforward. No rainbow mafia for me. But the benefit of the rainbow mafia is, in a way, it is promoting less births. So, you know, take that as you will. Which I'm not a one for depopulation, but people just won't stop eating the animals. They won't stop throwing their rubbish on the floor. I've seen people, like, just where I live, there's loads of recycling bins. I see people with empty bottles that can easily be recycled. All they have to do is put it in the right slot, which says recycling, but they don't. They throw it straight into the general rubbish that goes into a landfill. You have to ask yourself, will these people stop? The education's out there. You know, we have internet. Everyone should be smarter than this. They won't stop. So depopulation is kind of a good thing. And if you look at the Bible and you're a Bible believer, then you'll know that Jesus and God aim to depopulate the world greatly, soon to come. Can't wait. Yeah, a man's backside is not a hole. It's a one-way sign. Do you know what I mean? It's an exit. The backside is an exit. It's not an entrance. Um, but you know, can't really talk about that. I've said it. I was in the workplace once, full of supposedly straight people, and they kind of asked what my view on it was. I said, look, I'm not homophobic. Some of the nicest people I've met, cleanest, most intelligent people I've met have been homosexuals. Less so lesbians, who seem to be very gruff and quite dirty. Not to stereotype, but as far as homosexual men seem to be very clean, very educated, very kind of nice generally. But I still don't agree with it. And whilst I won't discriminate against them, I shouldn't be discriminated against for saying that the Rainbow Mafia is not for me. One sec, let me just get a drink. I'm always eating. I'm a big lad. Now, this LGBTQ coffee hipster fixed gear riding wave have this woke culture, and part of this woke culture is weed. Now, you are what you eat. Now, cannabis and weed may be two different things. They may be not. But this is exploding everywhere. It's sold under the guise that it's good for you, that it's healthy. But the Bible says against it. It talks about men smoking the flaxseed and, you know, having their vision and their judgments impaired. It makes you docile. It makes you stupid. Again, it makes you crave low energy food. They have this 420 kind of new religion holiday where it's like, I'm a rebel, man. I'm smoking weed with a bunch of other NPCs in a park. No, no, no. Now, loads of people smoke weed, like loads. And you have to think like your local weed grow busted, right? So your local weed growers like this. They're not, are they generally growing enough to supply the demand for this stuff, this neurotoxin? No. So where's it being grown by? It's being grown by, you know, big pharma. And what they've done is they've weaponized it. So you have, they talk about synthetic weed, which is this stuff. But this weed here is synthetic too. Look at where it's grown under these artificial lights. It's sprayed full of chemicals so it grows quick. This stuff is the artificial weed, the synthetic weed, just as much as that weird stuff, that potpourri that grows in bags. This is making people psychotic, like literally making people retarded, docile, psychotic. Pardon, just stuffing my face as always. It's a sin. There was a film that talks about basically the middle class, well, not the middle class, the old blue bloods, who can't afford their estates anymore because, you know, sometimes these old money families lose money to new money, so they can't afford their vast estates. So they resorted to kind of growing cannabis underground. Now, whatever truth is in that, I don't know, but it was in a film, and there's usually truth in plain sight. So what they was doing is they was burying shipping containers in their big estates underground, and then just growing shitloads of weed like this. Look, gang job for creating Breaking Bad style underground drug factory. Now, obviously, we know these news stories are fake because it's allowed to. You know what I mean? Here we go. Look, shipping containers buried underground, growing shitloads of weed. And this may be how it's done. Maybe grown above ground. We don't know. But this stuff is a pure toxin. Now, look at the name. I'll show you what weed. A wild plant growing where it is not wanted and in competition with cultivated plants. Now, a weed is actually, my understanding of it as a definition, it's not just that. It's a parasitical plant that requires a living host in order to function. That's what a weed actually is. You see them in gardens. So when you smoke this stuff, what is it doing to you? Yeah, you know, for sure, for sure. Let's do it. Here is one of the companies, a Sanofi company. So this is what is everywhere now, and it's been being touted as a health thing. Now, I don't doubt for a minute that, you know, God put medicinal properties in plants, and if you do it the natural way, this shit is probably good for you. I don't know. You know, maybe not. Maybe you're not meant to distill it in that. Maybe you're just meant to eat the leaves raw or something. I don't know. I'm sure there is some natural benefit to it. However, these places are popping up now. And look again, just like the coffee shop, this woke culture hipster shit, the CBD oil shops, this is pharmacare again, this is potions under the guise of you know, it's good for you. Look, hemp oil, look, it looks kind of like a pharmacy. It's all nicely clean and laid out. This is no different to a Boots or anything else. This is just, it's chemicals. It's darkness posing as light. Do you know what I mean? It's not like it's just some tinctures. Like, it's all artificial. Look. And this is where God kind of shows you in plain sight, hidden in plain sight. CBD oil. To me, if I was as a awake being who can actually read stuff for what it is, that is bad oil. So if I was walking past that place, the biomechanical universe will communicate to me and tell me, look, bad oil. Don't go in there. Just like this place. When I walk past, Ladbrokes, Ladbroke. Every guy that's in there is broke. These are low vibrational demonic places. Gambling, all this stuff. It's hidden in plain sight. What's another one? Totally wicked. This is a vaping shop. The world's premier vaping retailer. E-cigs. These things cause popcorn lung. Another, you know, neurotoxin. I don't want to go on record saying this, but with standard cigarettes, they've been out for a long time. You do know what you're going to get. You smoke them for 40 years, you get lung cancer, you die. With these, we don't know. They've not been out that long. People are already getting popcorn lung. Fuck knows. These like chemicals. And I've seen people that smoke these, and I've spoke to people that smoke these, and I've worked with them. And what they say to me, and I've watched them do it, they have to smoke it more often for longer to get the buzz of a normal cigarette. So every hour, they would go out for 15, 20 minutes at a time, and just they'd get through bottles and bottles of this vaping liquid shit. And you don't know what's in it. Do you know what I mean? This stuff's not even as regulated as the cigarette industry. Now, the hype's died down. Well, there you go. I won't go into that right now. But stuff's pure evil. And look, it's just hidden in plain sight. If you haven't got spiritual eyes to see, you'll go in there and think, oh, no, it's a cheeky devil. It's showing you what happens. You go in there, the shit's going to make you bald. Here's the devil. This is his playground. You step across that threshold, you're only buying death. Now, these are some other neurotoxins. Yep, 100 grade. Yep, CBD in the vapes. Yep, I worked with someone that was I used to smoke the CBD vapes at work, and like he said, it would chill him out. But Yeah, there's a shop in Dublin near a gay bar run by good-looking Scandinavians selling weed shit and CBD shit, overpriced hoodies 2 for 2. Yeah, it's yeah, like they're not even hiding this place. Like even in the name. I'm sorry, if you go in and buy something from one of these places, like it's wrong, but you kind of deserve that. Blackburn Rovers signed sponsor deal with Totally Wicked, and here's where it ties into another form of addiction: football. You notice a lot of the COVID testing sites have been football stadiums. Right here, this one. Now this reminds me of a film, Soylent Green, or Logan's Run, where when they're about to be killed because they've reached the age of 30, which is they've become too old to serve the system, so they get wiped out and told they're going to heaven when they're just getting exterminated. They go to the carousel. Carousel is obviously a euphemism for a stadium. Round and round the circle of life. You grow an NPC or a debt slave. Feed him the human aborted fetus, the other debt slaves that you've grounded into powder, aka the Soylent Green. He rides the carousel. When he's no longer useful, he gets off. No one else gets on. It's round and round. Grow the slaves, feed the slaves back to the slaves, kill the slaves, turn into food, grow the slaves, so and so. So here's the carousel. Great film, Logan's Run. They think they'd make a Hollywood remake, but it's obviously too close to the truth, somewhat. Good film. But yeah, so there's vaping pens, just loads. We're not even talking about like the out and out stuff like crack cocaine and heroin, where it's obviously some scientist has made this shit up because no guy in a hood's going to get, scientific equipment and just come up with crack cocaine. But this is the other form. This is the legal side. And these legal ones are actually probably worse. You know what I mean? They're easy to obtain. And it's just disgusting stuff. But this Totally Wicked place, when I saw it on the high street, I was like, what the fuck? Like, how can you have, it's just so obvious in your face. Like, I don't know, they sell merchandise. I wouldn't even want to drink from that cup. And here they try and sell it, look, fruit flavored e-pens, e-cigarettes. But that's basically what I was getting at. So it seems like, I don't know if they're trying to replace the old style population control things like alcohol and cigarettes with these e-cigs and these new neurotoxins like, I guess you'd call it fast food coffee. What are the effects? Nobody knows, What's going to happen to this next generation? We already have popcorn lung as a nickname for bronchiolitis obliterans, a condition that damages your lungs' smallest airways and makes you cough and feel short of breath. It's sometimes caused by breathing in a chemical used to flavor microwave popcorn, but also from vape pens. And again, here's the food, which food itself is a neurotoxin. Really, your fridge should look like a fresh food rainbow. Here's what your fridge should look like. This is the real rainbow mafia. The Adam and Eve, truly gendered, vegan fresh food immortals, which they're trying to hint at now, which will be another video because it's very deep. The Marvel film coming up called The Eternals. And also now they're trying to kind of admit as well. Here's the other one, Black Adam with The Rock. Same guy as Hitchcock. That's a long video. But yeah, anyway, just to conclude this. Yeah, Dennis Coates. Even the name, like Coates. Like to coat something is to slag it off, to make it less, or to cover it in something. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, Bet365. That Bet88. All these betting companies that just popped up out of nowhere. And I've never gambled. I don't see the attraction in it. It's a being a lacto vegetarian. You know, eggs and butter, not milk. You know, it's better for sure. It's better than being not even just a meat eater. You know, but the McDonald's and all that. Do you know what I mean? If you had it once in a while, that's one thing. You know, taking the fact that it's got human embryos and whatever's in there, you know, that's one thing. But people eat it like twice, 3 times a day, and I've been there. We've all been there. Milk. Milk's a weird one. You know, we look at God and what He's created. Cows have 6 teats, but only give birth to like maybe 1 or 2 young at a time. So maybe they was designed to provide us with milk if we treated them correctly. But for sure, the factory farming and that, they're pumped full of hormones, so they produce milk even when they're not pregnant, or they're constantly made to be pregnant for artificial insemination. The male calves go off to be either bulls if they're lucky, or straight into the food supply. The females are basically full of cancer because they're treated like shit. The milk's sucked from them until they're no longer of use. Then their rotting, pus-filled bodies are thrown back into the meat supply. Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. Poverty, or P over tie. The poverty can make you people desperate, and it's a taxation on hope, because you know it says it could be you. That used to be the catchline of the lottery. And when you're down on your luck and you're just praying for a miracle, and you may not even be a bad person, you may have actually lived a good life as far as, you know, you go to church. I'm talking about NPC everyday world, you know, not true, but in your mind, you know, you're married, you don't cheat, you're just a everyday person, you're not bad at all, and you're down on your luck and you're like, I deserve this. You pray and you buy your lottery ticket and you don't win, and you know it's a taxation hope. There was a video somewhere where somebody bought a fresh box full of scratch cards, and he unscratched them. I think it's like £600 worth of scratch cards. He unscratched them and he won back £300. And what's doing is basically, even if you won every scratch card in the box, in order to, you know what I mean, you wouldn't make your money back. So it's literally theft. It's legalized theft. You agree to it though. You know, it's like the stock market is another form of legalized theft. They have a, let me find it, because this is another kind of thing. I'm going off topic a bit, but this is promoted everywhere. eToro. Again, look at the logo. That literally looks like 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 Mr. Robot, like eToro. And if you, it's like, you know, you can, the advert's such a fucking scam. Put down £50 and you can invest today. You can not even have to do anything. You can follow our top traders and you will make no money and, you know, make millions in a short amount of time. Then you read the small print, it's like 66%, because it has to be 66% of traders on the eToro or any of these platforms, not just eToro, end up losing their money. It's a fucking scam. It's just a big Ponzi scheme, like Bitcoin, all these other things. Do you know what I mean? Get some more food because I'm a fatty. I'm not really a fatty. They're all just taxations on hope. There's no such thing as easy money. How can they trust you? You know, they can't. You can't be trusted with that kind of much money. Yeah, this is on there everywhere. This is a copy trader. Let top traders work for you. Like, look, I'm not every advert on the tube networks. Take the bull by the horns. What does that really mean? Look, take the bullshit by the horns. You see the horns, you know it's bullshit. It's from the bull, it's bullshit. With this this character. I'm not even going to go into that. Is he oh no, sorry, not Glenn Close. Is that a face mask? Anyway, that's a whole different topic. Yeah, that's the thing. Where's the money in it for them? Like, who's what are you trading? Who's buying this stuff? Do you know what I mean? It's just numbers on a screen. It's not like the old-fashioned trading where it's like you went to the place with your horse and cart with your 100 pieces of wood loaded on the back, and you went to the stock exchange and you physically traded for some silver or whatever, and you carried the stuff back. It's all numbers on a screen. You never see the stock. You don't know what's going on with these stocks. It's in these corporations. It's an absolute fantasy. Absolute fantasy. It's just complete and utter bullshit. Bitcoin, another Ponzi scheme. Like, just. And you have the we don't even know, these people could be CGI. Do you know what I mean? The sock puppet, that seems to come up a lot. But yeah, this eToro stuff is another thing. But back to the neurotoxins. So you have the CBD oil, the vape pens, the weed culture, the alcohol. It's basically it ties in to the music as well. And what's happening now is before you had different online gambling. Let's read this. There's a case where a gambling island won 1 million euros and the company were refusing to pay him out, took them to court. Yeah, you know why? Because they probably didn't have 1 million euros in their accounts. If you got on company's house and you look at a lot of these companies, they the turnover may be like 20 million, but their expenses are like 20 million. I worked for a mid-sized company in the property sector that had about 60 branches in and around prime locations in London, and its turnover was like 50 million pounds, whatever, but its expenses were near enough the same. And in their accounts was like 80 quid apparently, to the point where if one of the people that was employed by this company had sued them, they couldn't pay him, and so he could have bought the company for a quid. I don't understand how it works because I'm not litigious. I don't really care for this stuff. Do you know what I mean? It's like that's another trap. The whole court system, legalese. It's like, just avoid them. Don't play their game by not going near them. But yeah, a lot of these companies just probably don't have the money. They're just fake. They just pop up overnight. Some fake people, fake companies pop up overnight, disappear just as soon. Very few companies are actually real. The only real ones I can understand are things trading in physical goods. So your computer exchanges, your Tesco's, you know what I mean? Places you can actually go in the shop and buy stuff, your Argos. These other companies are just names and numbers on a screen. They provide no real service. But in order to prop up the pyramid, you've got to have them. So I'm just always munching. So yeah, basically, let's go into another neurotoxin. So neurotoxin substance that alters the structure or function of the nervous system. More than 1,000 chemicals are known to have neurotoxic effects in animals. The substance includes a wide range of natural and human-made chemical compounds, from snake venom and pesticides to ethyl alcohol, heroin, and cocaine. Now everyone knows about heroin and cocaine and alcohol, but it's funny they said snake venom. And for those of you who who are into this kind of thing, we try and avoid the snake venom. No, we don't want the snake bite. And they damage nerve tissue, epilepsy, dementia, disabilities. Let me find it. I think that's the blood-brain barrier. You got mercury fillings. Now, this is interesting. So mercury is a neurotoxin. I'm not going to pronounce these. Methylmercury, dimethylmercury, dithylmercury are significant neurotoxic forms. Dithylmercury and dimethylmercury are considered some of the most potent neurotoxins ever discovered. MEHG is usually acquired through the consumption of seafood, as it tends to concentrate in organisms high on the food chain. Now, where does it say not to eat seafood, especially certain seafood? Seafood is a neurotoxin. That's what it's basically saying. Now, crabs and other kind of things like that, floor bed dwellers, urchins and that, they're like nature's hoovers. They're specifically designed to pick up this stuff because the guy that created this world is a bloody genius and he designed it so that it was self-sustaining. Why would you eat a hoover? This is this equivalent to you opening up your Dyson and drinking the fucking hoover container of your old school, like, you know, opening your hoover bag and drinking it. Now, this is where this world's so backwards. So you're getting, because it's a ocean sucker, floor beds cleaner, and the oceans are poisoned, you're getting just, it's just, you might as well just like this is just pure poison. And there's the sickness of it. People pay a premium for this shit. People will pay a premium. This looks like spiders to me. This don't even look like food. I've never walked past a seafood stand like this, and it just smells absolutely vile and rotten. If it doesn't smell good, chances are it's not going to taste good. It's not meant to be consumed. That's why the creator gave us senses. But these people are backwards. They just vile and stupid. I would never eat that. I'll never eat this stuff. They're precious creatures. But then there's a saying, in it, crabs in a bucket. If you're a crab in a bucket, they will try and pull each other down. And you probably would eat crabs. You know, crabs in a bucket, eat crabs. Ugh, absolutely disgusting. If I sat down at a table and this was opposite me, I would get up and go. I couldn't be around smelling this stuff or eating it. Do you know what I mean? I feel sorry for the crabs. Very cruel. They usually boil the lobsters alive and do all weird shit to them. You can hear them screaming. Pure evil. Not against that. But yeah, even seafood's a neurotoxin. We've got aluminium. Everywhere, aluminium. Cars are made of it, but especially cans. Now, yeah, it doesn't rust and it can be recycled. But I'd even look, just pure, this stuff, poison, pharmacia again. Everybody knows about this stuff, but these are neurotoxins. These make people stupid. Now, what I've done, yeah, fucking some cultures' practices of seafood is just diabolical. I'll play the video. It's heartbreaking to see. It's just it's potent. Shows you what they're doing to these animals. They eat them alive. They cut them up while they're still alive. It's just pure evil. So you've got aluminium, significant neurons. Now you see they use these abbreviations and this scientific speak because they're just not telling you exactly what it is. Now, if we know these are neurotoxins, and it's like, why have we gone from this stuff? Now, look, ignoring the fact that the fucking Coke itself or these fast foods are neurotoxins. Back in the day, at least it was served in glass, which is just, you can recycle glass. It's cheap to make, as I understand it. It's just sand. You can recycle it. You can reuse it. It doesn't degrade into the whatever it's containing. It doesn't melt into the liquid it's containing. Makes no sense why we've gone to these. And the people say it's cheaper. But I don't believe that. Absolutely. But here's your neurotoxins. Again, So here we have renal failure. Like, what the fuck, bro? Bro. Arsenic. Ammonia. I'm not even getting into this stuff. We're just browsing through quickly. Lead, we know. Lead pipes and solder are common sources of ingested lead. Gas pipes, don't they use the solder here? Again, why? Why? Ethanol. Alcohol, we're back again. Fetal alcohol syndrome, sorry. Small eye openings, a smooth fulcrum, thin upper lip. Now, I want to know, is this a cover for something else? Another thing? Or is it generally what causes it? Either way, it's so bloody evil. And this is what happens back in the booze culture. These women are pregnant, and they still go out drinking alcohol. Because it's like, well, I'm not giving up my body just because I'm knocked up the duff. I can still live my life. And that's basically their attitude. This liberal feminism, it ties in again. And the reason why these people think this way is because they're all out their fucking brains. Now, there's a game that talks about this called We Happy Few. And it literally describes us basically in a world where the whole world is forced to take medication and it makes the world seem lovely. But if you don't take it, you start to see the world for what it is. And it's actually a successful, great game. Again, truth hidden in plain sight. Here I have your typical blue-eyed, which I don't mean as a racial thing, but these are usually the eyes of a psychopath. All the whites visible, the kind of tear nostril, fake smile where the Joker smile where they've cut the sides of the mouth so it appears masculine and more bigger. Yeah, typical. There you go. Look, following you on your way to the supermarket. But essentially, they show you in plain sight about these neurotoxins. I'm trying to find a picture of what the world looks like when you're not on this stuff. A great advertisement for neurotoxins. So basically, what the plan is, if you get everybody dosed up on this stuff through the food, the clothes, your fillings, your drinks, your culture, you willingly take it, it dumbs you down and you're easily programmed and you just don't see what's going on. And like, there's just so much of it. Dopamine neuron death. The shit is crazy. Absolutely. It's just. Here we go. This is fugu. The pufferfish is known for carrying lethal amounts of tetrodotoxin. Yet, I swear the pufferfish is considered a delicacy. Is it not called fugu in Japan? The tetanus. So here we have neurotoxins, and just to conclude this. So basically, you never know what you're taking or ingesting. It's in the plastic, the drinks, it's everywhere. And this is why you have to cleanse. Do you know what I mean? You can't be drinking the Cokes or the alcohol. You really have to cleanse your temple. Now, I don't think everything is poisoned. I don't believe that the poisons will work on the elect. It says nothing will harm you. You know, so I think one of the tricks they do is drinking water. You know, we have this kind of, remember, conspiracy theory is the mainstream term, and that's just to program people that have the potential to be awake with more bullshit that makes them super paranoid. So one of the things is the water pipes or tap water will make you docile. Now, I don't know for sure, and it would make sense if they were putting shit in the tap water, but in the Bible, it also says, let every man drink from his own cistern. And what I interpret that as is, even if the tap water is poisoned, you know, it's like they can't just run riot down here. There are rules and regulations to how they conduct their evil. And one of the things we're allowed to do as living human beings is have a source of water. And so tap water is probably, I'm not saying for sure, and for God forgive me if I'm wrong, but tap water is probably better for you than bottled water. Bottled water is a brand. Do you know what I mean? It's a brand. It belongs to someone. It's not a state service. It's a brand. So when you're buying it, you're buying, it's no different to Coke. And, bottled water, these companies like Evian, they sponsor these big tennis events, which is more programming. Do you know what I mean? So you just got to be careful with what people, there's a lot of fear mongering as well as just exposing the truth. But that's kind of my thing. So I'll conclude it there. And thanks for listening. Ciao.